Hello everyone, it's Brachiosaurus. Welcome back to my Let's Play of Denmark in Europa Universalis 5. Just to recap the situation a bit, we've expanded and retaken our lands in Scania. We've also put down a rebellion over here in Estonia and released them as a vassal, and vassalized Mecklenburg and some lands in Holstein here. We also dealt with an internal disaster, a succession attempt, which is why our levies are up, during which we took a loan from the Pope as part of that, which helped us to afford our own market outside of Lubeck and the Hanse's influence. I think the next few years in game are going to be a bit more stable and chill and focused more on economic expansion and getting the most out of our new market. So let's see what we can do. Let's start with disbanding all of our vast levies. We can control right click to get rid of them. We have a parliament available, so we'll set up the parliament in the capital. What options do we have? We have gathering to get us clay and fish, not very good. A character, expanding some wheat farms, that's okay. Relations, subject relations. Sponsor a cathedral is kind of okay if we have nothing else going on, but it costs money and I want to save up the 320 some that I owe the Pope. So I don't want to put down money on a cathedral. Nothing super great. Support the state is a good generic one because it gives us crown power while it's being debated. So I think we might just do that. What's market expansions are 25% trade capacity. I don't think we need that now. I think I'm just going to go for support the state. The crown power while it's being debated is, if we go to estates, it's going to boost my crown power up, which is going to boost up our income during the debates. What options do we have? Well, let's not worry too much about it. Our rebellious brother also fled the country. He's relocated to Sweden, and I think he's taken my children with him. So yeah, he's taken my eldest, who's 14, I think for 10 prestige. Can I move him back? He's moved to our country. He's now back in our country. There you go. I hope that makes him our heir again. I'd like to get my other son back too. I don't want them to be with their uncle and his terrible ideas. Elsewhere in the world, while we were putting down that rebellion, the Teutons and their Livonian vassals have gotten themselves into wars with both the Lithuanians and the Polish. So they're getting their butts kicked, which is not great because I'd like to be kicking their butts and taking their land. Maybe I can get a CB in this parliament. We'll see. Let's unpause. Maybe we'll go down to speed 4 for now. Since I don't really mind the stats, I think it actually would be good to go for a CB here. We can get humanist. We can do aristocratic support. I don't really mind that. And now, for 50 power, I can get a CB. If we check here, Bohemia would not join this war. If I made a war in the HRE, Bohemia would not join. That's because Bohemia is at war, but they're at war with little tiny Munster. So I might want to take a war in Pomerania or something like that. Maybe I could take Loren or Gustow, or just take more of Holstein here. Poland is at war with Brema. They're the Teutons' ally? They are. Okay, what if I declared war on Wolgast? I think they have a bunch of ships, which is not great for me. So yeah, maybe we'll just go against... go against these guys, this little part of Holstein. I think that's what we'll do. So, let's... Before we do that, let's check the antagonism map. Yeah, they're all light blue with no antagonism, so I think they're open to take. So, we'll ask for a Casus Belli against Peineberger Holstein, and we will immediately go to war with them, picking our CB before Bohemia gets any ideas about bailing them out. There we go. Bohemia being super strong and super scary. We don't want to give them a chance. Now, is there any chance of recovering this? Not really. We're at 0 support and we have only some weak options, so we'll probably fail and take the -7 stability, but that's fine. The main thing we wanted was that crown power while it's being debated. You can see my ducats went up from 5 to 9. So we will send our armies south. We'll send them right in. We'll send them to Schleswig first. Let them get a little morale up before they engage. And I won't worry. Oh no, is my vassal gonna eat it? They are. So we'll send the army down there. We won the battle. They did have ships there, so I should hide the king in port. We'll send him to Copenhagen. How many ships do they have? They have 4 ships. They're all transports. They're all fishing boats. They're not scary. Who else is in this war? Warren and Dortmund and Schauenberg. If we go to the diplomap mode, you can see Schauenberg's down there, Dortmund's down there. They're not interesting. But Warren is right over here. They might be interesting. And my vassal is already kind of taking it to them. So we will head over that way with our main army. The occupation of Kiel is finished. Looks like this war is pretty much over already. They've fallen. Can we just march our levies around with impunity? We can. So our vassal, Mecklenburg, took out Oren. Maybe we can vassalize them too in a peace deal. And we'll see if we can take some money from these states over here. Buckberg and Dortmund. We failed the parliament, no problem there. Let's see, that was Schauenberg. Will they peace out? They will for 17 ducats. So we'll take 17 ducats. War reps. They're not going to have any treaties left once we're done with it. Not going to have anybody to have treaties with. So for money and war reps and some prestige from the humiliation, we'll take that peace deal. Looks like the achievements reset every single time you play. That's a little bit annoying. Let's finish off Dortmund. Okay. Send our armies home. Send these guys home. Okay, so if we go to Warren, we can make Warren a fiefdom. I forget who do I have for subjects. I have Holstein as a fief and Estonia as a fief. So maybe I should make them a vassal instead. Yeah, I should make a couple vassals so that it's balanced. So if we take Warren and we vassalize them, and we take their money for good measure. How much aid does that get us? That gets us +9 to 36 with the Hansa. the same. We'll humiliate them. We'll take war reps. They will accept. Money, humiliate, and war reps. So Dortmund's out, and now if we look at the main peace deal to get an overall feel with Holstein, if we make them both vassals, that puts us up to 48 AE max with the Hansa and with Ratzeburg. So I think we'll do that. We'll do Warren first so that we can take their money. Get an extra 10 ducats, not much. Great. And then we'll send our troops back. These guys are home. We'll disband the levies. And we'll send these guys home. They're close enough to home. We'll disband the levies. And we'll do the main peace deal. We will vassalize them and take their 17 ducats. And just double check that again. 48 with the Hansa. So we'll do that. And then we will... We don't have a diplo, but once we get a diplomat, we will improve relations with the Hansa. So that war is done. That's nice. That's good for us. Easy expansion into northern Germany again. I want to look at my market for a second here. I think the main good that we have is amber. We've got a lot of amber. We can use amber in jewelry buildings to make some jewelry. So that might be our whole economic concept for now. Where are the jewelry builds? How many do we have? None? We have none. That's odd. So let's build, say, in Roskilde. We have some burgers there. So we'll build one there. And we're at negative burgers in Copenhagen. We'll build another one anyways. So we'll get those building. And then let's look at our goods and see what RGOs are profitable. It's actually the salt more so than the amber. Interesting. So we'll build one salt, and I think we'll build one amber for good measure for our jewelry economy that we're going to grow. So we'll let that happen, and we'll continue on. I do have an empty, unassigned cabinet member. That's no good. So we've got one guy increasing control. What can we do with him? We could develop a province. We could push a value. We're okay on stabilization and strength. We could do recovery effort. That's interesting. I've never seen this one. I think we'll do it. Ah, it's because they have a negative. Okay, well, we'll set him to recover because it's worth a little pop growth while he's doing that, along with the prosperity going on. That's a nice one that I didn't even know was an option. So we'll send him there, and then we'll move him up to the other province a few months later. Well, that was a short one. The other one. Where was that recovery? Recovery. We'll send him over there for a month or two. Just get a little tiny bit of pop growth. I think I want to build a market as well. Let's go to marketplace and let's put it in. Doesn't really matter where it goes, I just want to put it somewhere where we have people. Political crises occur From time to time in our kingdom, they often involve a conflict between the king and the parliament, unrest among the nobility, or conflicts of interest between the nobility, the burghers, and the clergy. One such crisis has recently cast public doubt on our governing institutions. We can have less efficiency of our cabinet, or we can lose some prestige. I'll take the cabinet hit. Super needed that. The cabinet is finished there. How are our values doing? We're still very decentralized. It's because we've got communal lands. So let's revoke communal lands. I wanted to do this a while ago. It'll cost me 14 stability, which I can afford because we've got 29. So let's go ahead and do that. Revoke communal lands. That will piss off the commoners a whole lot. They will go rebellious. They will. They're under the rebellion threshold, which I'm not exactly sure where it is. I think it's 20 or 30% happiness. But yeah. What else do we have? We could go more naval. Actually, we can't. It can't push further than 28, so we can only change it with events and parliaments and whatnot. We could go for centralization now that we've eliminated a lot of it. We do have the Central Council. We still have a traditional distribution, so we should think about getting our distribution of power changed. Maybe in the next parliament. I think that's what we'll do. We'll get him pushing centralization. Change social values to centralization. We'll unpause and let it rip. Teutons and Livonians not doing well. Brandenburg is doing surprisingly well. They often disappear. Meissen also surviving, although they look like they're in a war against Magdeburg. England doing surprisingly well against France. France is gonna get their act together soon, I guess. Brabant is expanding healthily as well. Ooh, Castile took a big bite out of Portugal. We did get an advance, that's nice. Let's check on our research. We've got a whole bunch queued up. And then we are getting... Our capital doesn't have much institution spread, but Professional Armies has spread through North Germany and Pomerania, and it is crossing over into our adjacent provinces, so we'll get that pretty soon. Education, I don't care, I don't care. Now that my sons are back, they're not the heirs? Who's our heir? Crown Prince Ingvar. So my rebels are not heirs. The young son is the heir. They've been disinherited, I guess. I think there's a way to look at the line of succession. Is it here? Yeah, so he's up first. Oh no, these are just the different laws. Coming of age. My son, the former heir, Chris, has come of age. Who could we marry him to? Does Sweden have any children? No. Sweden has a queen herself. And a sister. Very interesting. Can I get a royal marriage with them? Nobody will accept, apparently, because once I take off, will they accept? We see a whole bunch of options. We see Bohemia, we see Norway. Okay, why won't they accept? Norway has no adults closely related enough, or we don't. I don't know, I guess he's been totally disinherited and he's not interesting to anybody. I can't even marry him to... Ah! He has blocked from marriage because he was plotting a rebellion. Interesting. So that looks like a bug that's still kicking around until their death. Can I remove that? Ah, poor guy. Well, that's too bad. Maybe I can put him in my cabinet when one of these guys dies. He's a little bit old, 55, he's 45. The military is divided. I will take defensive because we're already a little bit defensive. The Teutons got chunked, and Livonia got mega chunked, losing Courland. Oh, I should put my ships back out to sea, and I should build a few extra ships. We've got sailors, so let's build a couple ships. Okay, let's see if we can figure out the jewelry industry that we've built. Let's find the building, click on it. They are using silver, and they're using amber, and they're not making much profit. So let's see if we can export the jewelry for a profit somewhere. We could sell it back to Prague for a profit. So let's do some of that. We'll take a few levels of automation down. We'll sell it to Prague. We'll sell some to Nuremberg. We'll spread it around. We'll sell a little bit more to Prague. I would think that jewelry over here would be good. Wait, was that imported jewelry? I think I just imported jewelry. Yeah, from Praha to Copenhagen. That is not what I want to do. Cancel those. And cancel that one too. Let's try this again. There are no possible export markets for jewelry. Why is that? Maybe I need to import some more gold. Let's bring in gold from Prague. That's pretty valuable. We have an event. We can... let's gain some prestige, I suppose. I am losing legitimacy, so we'll boost that up a little bit. Let's have another look at these trades. Oh, we got the good infrastructure tech. Sad news, our capital will die. Let's pause and get him. We will appoint. Oh, my rebellious son is blocked from going into the cabinet too. Poor guy. So what can we do with him? He can't marry anybody. He can't lead armies or navies. He can't be an heir. He's blocked all around. Maybe I could force him to join. Yeah, let's do that. Let's see what that does for us. Ah, we've turned him into a monk. Nope, now he's taken the vows. And he's still a rebel. Totally useless altogether. Okay, let's go down to 4 as I try and wheel and deal and figure out what to do with the jewelry. It looks like we can't profit anywhere. Oh, I'm using all of my trade capacity, that's why. No, nobody wants my jewelry. Let's go back in to our buildings. We can make more money if we make it with gold. Is that what I'm seeing? Let's make it with gold. Ah, no, immediately the silver becomes more profitable. And our other one, the same story, they like using silver. Current profit plus 0.5. Erica Stryden, my other son, the other rebel, same situation, he's okay. Maybe if we build more amber so that the input cost goes down. So we'll build 2 more ambers there. I do want to get these trades running. There are some of them that are kind of profitable. We could sell it to Lisbon, Fars, London. Let's sell some jewelry. Let's sell some jewelry there. Well, it's something. Not the most profitable. I see our automated trades are getting some of it done, so Copenhagen to Stockholm and Novgorod, those are doing pretty well. So let's just try that and force it a little bit less. Unhappiness among the clergy. We can lose prestige or lose opinion with the clergy. The clergy, I have plenty of opinion with them, so we'll take the opinion loss. How is my loan doing? Months remaining, 32. So I'm quite a ways away. I think I'll save some money and see if I can get out of that loan situation. Speed back up to 5. Swedish nobles have revolted. That is quite a large rebellion against them. And she has gone and gotten herself married in the meantime. Where's my heir? He is 5, so he's a little young to be marrying any Swedish princesses. Let's get our ships out, merge them. That should help us with our maritime projection. Maritime presence, the anchor at the end here. So we are getting 50, slowly going up. Getting a decent presence. We want to get that up to, I think, 100. So if we look at somewhere where we have to go maritime to, let's say Aalborg, that needs 2 tiles. If we look at these tooltips, Copenhagen to Orsund is free. Orsund to the Great Belt. Oh, come on. I just want to see this. I'm gonna pause while I look at it so I don't get any events. Multiplied by 0.4 from the maritime presence. presence. And then the next one, with the Great Belt going north. Yeah, these are multiplied by 0.4 and 0.56 for maritime presence in the area. So we'll go back to our anchor, that's 0.4 there, and I thought it would be 0.56 there, but I guess not. 0.56 there, 0.4 there. So yeah, our low presence, let's give it another look. Between locations with 43% presence is minus 16. So yeah, I guess if we get more maritime presence, our costs will go down. We'll have to see how that works exactly. A little bit confusing. Let's build a few more ships. Let's see how it goes. Oh, the English nobles have risen up. King Roderick of Derby. Sweden's handling their revolt pretty well. Rush of merchants. We can gain extra trade capacity or trade advantage. We don't need the advantage, we're already number 1 in our market, so we'll take extra trades. If we look at Copenhagen market, excuse me. If we look at the countries, we're ordered by trade advantage, we're number 1, which means we get to make all of our trades before the Hansa, who gets to make their trades before Mecklenburg, and so on. It's just a binary order. We don't need to worry about partial points or anything. New Parliament, 1360. No major benefits here. The cathedral is pretty expensive, so I'm going to go for gravel roads, because if we succeed, we get 10 centralization. What are the other options? Clay and fish, or 2 lumber. Those aren't horrible, but I like the centralization a little bit more. We only have 14 support, and they want us to contain banking, which is not great. In praise of scribes, we can get religious influence and go towards spiritualist, or you can get satisfaction. I guess we'll take the influence. Influence with the Pope is not super helpful. We can take a serfdom movement. Life in Copenhagen. We pay 20 ducats or we lose 5 support. Can we get this if we take that? We could take the plutocratic movement. That'll put us above 50. And that'll get us our 10 centralization. Support with the commoners is coming back, so they should be less rebellious. They're still pretty rebellious, aren't they? It's going down though. I am going to put my cabinet member on suppressing that rebellion. If we go there, and we go to rebel crackdown, let's put him on the commoners. And we lost support from Reading. We better do something about that. We're down to 46. So we can do individualist values, pause, and make sure that that's enough. 50.2. I hope we can make it. 2 weeks left. go. We got the 10 centralization. So that'll take us down to 82 from 92. Yep. Pretty nice. What's this land theft event? Many land donations are quite old, and while they are always documented, both landscapes and the names therein may well have changed hands since a donation was originally given. Recently, the clergy have been accusing several members of the nobility of outright land theft in the form of encroaching on lands donated to the clergy long ago. The nobility, on the other hand, agree that it is the clergy who are trying to seize lands that they have no claim over. So they're both trying to seize land from one another. Whomever we decide to side with shall become the majority landholder in this area. Gain opinion with the clergy, lose opinion with the clergy, gain it with the nobility, or lose opinion with both. Well, once again, the clergy don't pay me any taxes, and we could juice up, or no, we can juice up a lot of our taxes. Let's side with the nobility so that we keep them liking us, and yeah, run our tax income up. More ships. Let's merge them, and let's have another look at our maritime presence. We're up very slightly from 43 to 44. Plus 0.112. It is decaying by that much, but gaining from our navy less than it's decaying. Sad. The generals are bothered. Well, the fleet it is, because we want to be a naval power. So we'll take the movement towards naval. How is our control doing? I guess we can move him around. We can send him back to the capital. Since that's maxed out, we'll try and rotate him around. Guild before country. When aristocrats warned us of the secret societies that had supposedly infiltrated Danish politics, we chose not to listen. They predicted that we might very well pay with our lives when this conspiracy turned against us. Not that dramatic, but one of our advisors has made some very questionable and dubious decisions. This loyalty must be punished. We can kill him outright. I don't want to do that. He's got 100 skill. Look at that. Or we can lose 7 stability. Well, so long, stab. I guess we're gonna miss our payment to the Pope. It's not ideal. How are our estates doing? We do not have a lot of leverage for possible bankruptcy here, so I'm going to reduce my taxes a little bit. Get all my estates liking me a little bit more. That's going to give them a little bit more money over time to possibly offer us in loans. I'd like to have a larger buffer in case we end up with some events charging us money. I don't know, Pope. Can't afford to pay you back. The Pope and Naples have both expanded north here. And Serbia is doing quite well. Literacy. Against the Anjus of Hungary. Why is that? Why can't Hungary fight them off? Oh, because Serbia's brought in a whole lot of friends. And they are the defender. Well. Kazmir's has fallen. He's no more. Let's make Poland a noteworthy country. Buy defections. I don't want to spend any money on that. What happened with our loan? Oh, it automatically renewed with no notice? That's nice. Do I ever need to pay the Pope back? Maybe I can just pay 1 ducat a month forever. 1 ducat a month isn't very good, is it? Our money is going up, more or less, wavering around a lot. Crown power at 26. Did we get a new reform here? You get some new reforms, so we could switch to Royal Decree, which gives us centralization. What do we have now? Progress towards aristocracy. It costs, I think, 20 stab to change. But Royal Decree is just better. So yeah, we'll take the 20 stab hit. And we'll get some more centralization coming our way. Oh, I do need to improve relations with the Hansa and with everybody else who's nervous about me. How many? I have 2 diplomats. Not great. Let's improve with Wolgast because they're a good target for us. And Ratzeburg, 1 province minor. Okay, our former heir has come of age. Can we find her any political marriages? We could marry this guy in Bohemia, Vaclav, Luxembourg. What's the situation in Bohemia? If we go to politics and we click on them, Bohemia is the HRE. Jan Hendrik. Vaclav is number 2 in line to the throne. So maybe we could do that. That's a little bit dangerous though, because they might get claims on my throne when my heir dies. So I think Brabant was the other option. That might be dangerous though, because they're on a border with France. And Thuringia down there. Upper Bavaria is an option. Brunswick is an option. Brunswick are kind of harmless and they have a few troops. Probably about 2,000. Probably 1,000, I mean, given that. Thuringia have less than Brabant. Brabant are pretty good, so Brabant would be the best ally, probably. Let's go with them. Is accepted by Brabant. And then they will take an alliance. We don't have a diplomat, though. Well, we almost have enough money to pay off the Pope. Admiral worth his title. We can get a new admiral. Yeah, I think so. He seems good. We currently have our king leading the navy so that he gets more crown power. If we hover here, and we hover over the crown power, we should see that the ruler is in command, gives us a 25% boost, which is more than we get from him being a level 77 administrator even. That only gives us 19. Mecklenburg have asked us to improve cultural opinion. Very well. Speaking of, Can we improve cultural opinion with our subjects? No, we can't until 14 of 3. We've already done one. Silver Bond. How about that alliance? We now have an alliance with Great. Let's get a few more diplomats coming. Let's repay our loan to the Pope. There you go. Let's build another RGO. Let's see about building another mountain. They cost 36. That's a good price on masonry and glass. I've got the army tech. Things are coming along well. I'm going to wrap up this episode here. We're about 45 minutes in, so I think it's a good place to take a pause. We've boosted our economy up, we've paid off our loan to the Pope, and we've gained another couple small vassals in northern Germany here, who we can maybe start to think about annexing to expand our country. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and leave some comments if you want to see more. Thanks. Cheers.